I think that the fundamental issue is that the Senate retained the INEC 2022 Act, Section 60, Subsection 5, which actually became infamous for the loophole that it provided for the INEC to not accord Nigerians the basis to trust it anymore. You know why? Because the then chairman of INEC kept telling especially the young people of this country that he was assuring them that they would exercise the effectiveness of using online transmission into the INEC results viewing portal. Now, when they failed to do that, it became a basis for doubting what happened at polling units in the country. It became the basis on which the judicial pronouncements were made that actually the law does not mandate INEC to upload results at every polling unit. Once that was established as the basis for the lack of transparency and the opacity and the many shenanigans that we saw with polling results, there was nothing that anyone could say further. So the opportunity for reform of the INEC Act was embraced by citizens and, in fact, some of the lawmakers as one that must not be missed. And so that every ambiguity, every loophole, every opportunity for discretion on the part of the institution on a matter that is at the heart of the transparency, the integrity, the credibility, and therefore the legitimacy of our democracy must be taken.
So you hear what IReV have to explain concerning the issue at hand now, because it is not to getting ready for the election, forming an alliance, people moving from this party to this party, trying to defeat the APC-led government is the issue. The issue is the Electoral Act. And that is the problem that we all faced during the 2023 general election. After they tell Nigeria to go to court, the candidate who did not satisfy with the election result, the INEC chairman said, if you are not satisfied, go to court. Because they already know that in INEC election guideline, it is not a law. So the court will not use it as a basic to judge what the evidence the parties and their candidate present before court. Because from High Court to Appeal Court and to the Supreme Court, they struck out everything. Even though that when the House of Rep election and the Senate were conducted with the beavers, during the time of the presidential election, they speak one big English. There's a glitch in the system. So they could not upload, they could not transmit it in real life. So the judges do not have any basic to annul the election or to declare another person winner based on the argument of the parties we are not legitimate. It was not enshrined in the Constitution. So as obvious the president said, and we are going to listen his full interview to hear what he have to, how he described it, that the INEC is playing with fire. It's like when a child is misbehaving, the mother will tell the child that you are putting hand in a hot fire, it will burn you. Because Nigerians are patient and at the same time are tired of so many stories concerning our election. So that is why the National Assembly have to come out plainly. Are these people not tired of collecting money? Are they not tired of packing money? The money they have saved is enough for them and their generation. Let them build up Nigeria so that Nigeria will not break down. Because the way things are going, they are creating room again for manipulations. I do not see the reason why state governors are moving from the party that elected them in 2023, moving to the party that everybody that is living in Nigeria and the other Nigerians that are living outside Nigeria are complaining. Everybody is crying of hardship that the government is not doing anything to address the issue of insecurity, issue of not having job, no creating a job for people. Inflation is on the high scale. Why are governors are moving to the place they see that the government is not performing? That is the issue that we need to rethink and say, what made them to be moving there? Because, very simple, they want to retain their post. And if your people you are ruling or governing in your state does not want you, they believe that the only way they will do it is to enter into the system where there is opportunity to rig election. All the people need to do is for them to come out that day. Let it be that it's a day of election, and after election, INEC electoral commissioner or INEC chairman will declare anybody that he deemed fit that they want him or her to be at that post. If you don't want, go to court. And when you go to the court, they will still come out with it is not in constitution. So the National Assembly have to come out plainly to declare and say, we have included this thing in our constitution. This is how it is. Then that act should be passed to the president for him to endorse it so it became law, so that we will use it in 2027 general election. If you are sure of yourself that your people want you, why are you afraid of election? Why are you afraid? Make everything, let it be straight. Let this administration create one record. Let them break one record. So people will remember them that it was them that amended this electoral act that make our election to be one of the best in Africa. We can do this thing. We have all the materials. We have all the equipment. We have all the digital machines which we imported with our hard-earned money to use in 2023 that was not used. Those things are still available to use now. But let us also hear from what INEC how to interpret two of them, Obiezekwe and the INEC, how they interpret this. So there's a kind of confliction. You know, the two things are contradicting themselves. What Senate President Ababio said and what did they decide in the race chamber. They have to make Nigeria known, because many lawyers and many people are interpreting this thing in their own way. So for us not to make mistake, they need to come out and clarify this thing, make us to know that this thing has been included in our constitution, so that those issues will be settled down. So the people that are forming alliances, doing this and that, to able to march together to challenge APC-led government in next year general election. We know what they are doing. Not that after they have do everything they do, and the masses, the youth, come out to vote who they wanted to vote, they will ask us again for us to go to the court. We have waited for 3 years. Now we're about to complete it 4 years. Time is fast moving. The other day, 2023, now we're in 2026. So we're about to have a new election. And Nigerians cannot afford again to have another 4 years of hardship and the suffer. Please, I don't know what is your thought and what is your opinion about this matter. Because as we all are getting ready for the general election, we need to start it from this electoral act. If we do not get the electoral act good, the election will not also be good. But if we get it good, everything will go smooth on that particular day. And let us all shine our eye. This is the time for us to defend our country. We have been keeping quiet before, but now is the time. Just as Obiezekwe said, the INEC and the National Assembly, they are playing with fire. Are they really playing with fire, or have the fire already begun to burn them? That is a very big question. let me hear your voice at the comment section.
Just to be clear on exactly what actually happened, because Nigerians are watching very closely, in clear language, did the Senate approve real-time electronic transmission of election results, yes or no?
Yes. And I will tell you how it happened.
Yeah.
And I will, let me set the stage first. In the last elections in 2022, which was used in 2023 elections, all the time that people went to court, all the way to the Supreme Court, especially for the presidential elections, the court held that what INEC put as their guidelines, because that particular proposition in the act says transfer of result as approved by the INEC. They held that INEC guidelines were not law. And that was why everyone prior to this time, and from the time that the Electoral Committee of the Senate and the House started meeting from 2024 to now, everyone now agreed that since there's this problem with the law, it's much better that we put it, and so that it's clear and it's concise. And the Senate Committee on Electoral Act and the House Committee had a joint committee. They met 27 times. From 2024, they met with INEC, they met with all stakeholders, they went with the CSOs. They now came back to us with the report. Now, when the report was brought, what was there in the report, which was also agreed by them, and all this while that they met, was there should be electronic transmission of results through the IReV. And so, it was what was put in the document before us. Now, when that document was brought, which was the amendment of this 2022 Act, the Senate, in its wisdom, decided to set up another ad hoc committee led by Senator Adebomire San to review everything again. Then the Senate met again to move into an executive session. The reason for going into the executive session, which is where we now say, let us talk to each other, is that we can fight, we can show, and we don't want Nigerians to see us fighting over a crossing T or dotting an I. And we said, fine, so let us approve everything. We approved all the ones we could approve.
Including electronic transmission.
And so when we now came back,
Right.
because it's better that we got the whole sequence for plenary session, it was simply for us to just go through what was already approved in the executive session. That's why if you notice what happened, the Senate President will simply say, Section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, approve, we say approve. So because we wanted to go through it. And that was how we went through up till we got to Section 60. Of course, so many people were walking about, people were talking to each other because everybody assumed that the matter had been settled through all these processes. And so what we now felt was that we had already passed this. In the document that I have, what is inside there is electronic transmission through the IReV.
Right.
And so we felt that this had already been done. So we were surprised. While we were still in the chamber, that we started getting reports that no, that wasn't what was passed. So everybody was perplexed. And so people started walking around to say, what went on here? Because this was like an assumption of something that had already gone. So I went personally to the Senate President, and the President now said, oh no, let him clarify. And he said it. Oh, don't worry, what we passed was transmit, not
transfer.
And all that. So we were now surprised.
Citizens love democracy is that of all the political systems, this is the only political system in which they legitimize public leadership. So the office of the president is the highest office in the land, but it is the office of the citizen that gives legitimacy to it. And nobody becomes president if a citizen does not vote for them collectively, unanimously, according to the terms of any legislation that underpins that democracy. That is why we say that the office of the citizen is in fact the highest office in the land. So when the citizens, who are the anchor on which democracy is built, now say that an experience in the 2023 election was terrible. It did not build their confidence in their democracy. It eroded it. Please change that vexing provision, because why should you be afraid of transparency? We, the citizens, want transparency. So give it to us. And then the government, the National Assembly, the Senate fails to do that. The options are very clear. The citizens are already speaking loudly and saying, this is not our expectation. Number two is that they will speak even more loudly to each of their representatives, their senators, their members of the House, and say, this is not what we want. Number three is that they would go forward to a place like the National Assembly and ask for a public hearing that they want this matter to be put to rest, that what majority of this country is asking for is the real-time upload of results in polling centers. And then they would collectively hold down the National Assembly to accountability, because that's what they owe the citizens. I believe that when you listen to the people who are talking about how vexed they are about the disingenuous approach that the Senate is trying to bring into this matter, you find that what they are saying is, this could be the end of our engaging with democracy at all. Okay, now, that is bad. That is bad. Yeah. When citizens begin to disavow themselves from democracy, those who are in power should be worried.
Okay, ma. Good to see you, ma. Happy New Year, ma.
So what did I propose? Yes.
No,
yes.
I got what you proposed.
Yes.
And what you proposed is right on point. I don't know why we're using the word inciting. I mean, you pee on people's back, you tell them not to react. You slap them in the face, you tell them not to react. Was the current APC inciting when they staged Occupy Nigeria protests and subsidy protests, when they supported those protests back in the days? Was that inciting? When they shut this country down for the first 12 days of the year? Was that inciting? And I want to speak as a citizen today. Don't these lawmakers get it that the citizens have already even checked out of the process enough? Our incumbent president, do you know how many Nigerians have voted him? Less than 35% of the registered voters came out to vote. It means they've checked out. They've gone. They're not interested. And you now go ahead and make them more uninterested with this? At least last year, with all the rallying we did and all the sweet talking and the likes of Mr. Guinea coming here, it was just about 35% we got, even less than that. Can you imagine a country where less than 35% of the voting population voted in the president? And now, you are even telling them that they're stupid even more, and we're talking about incitement. I mean, what else? How are we going to tell these people again? How? Should we go down, kneel down and beg them or lick their foot? What are we going to do?
No, they have a duty. They have a duty to the citizens.
They don't understand duty.
That's why I said to them, yes, they have a duty. Listen, Rufai, that's why I used the word that mothers would use. I'm sure that most of us that grew up in homes where we had mothers that really took care of us and cared about our future, they would say to us, stop playing with fire. Stop playing with fire. You see, it's almost as if the political class, especially as exemplified by the Senate, just wakes up every morning and says, what shall we do today to upset Nigerians? Now, anyone who at all supports the idea that it is okay for citizens to not be, very annoyed at the excesses and the sheer lack of, even wisdom on the part of our senators. I don't know where that person is reading from. Nobody wants anybody to be incited, but it is entirely necessary for citizens to know that they are acting within their right when they exercise what Thomas Jefferson, one of the legendary presidents of the United States, said, that eternal vigilance is the price that citizens pay for freedom, for liberty. These senators cannot run Nigeria as though it were their fiefdom. It's not. Nigerian democracy belongs to the people. It doesn't belong to the politicians.
Okay, madam. What would
So
you
the
recommend?
citizens are well within their right to insist. I have recommended that the senators should immediately cancel their 2 weeks emergency vacation from plenary and reconstitute and just make sure that they pass what the text of that provision says. The text is it's unambiguous. It's just so straight to the point. It's not something that you need to wonder, what is it saying? It says that upload of result will happen at the polling unit, every polling unit. And what it says clearly is that it is in real time. In real time. Let me read it clearly. For avoidance of any confusion, the text of the key proposed provision from the Electoral Act Amendment Bill is, and I quote, "The presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to the INEC results viewing portal, IReV, in real time. And such transmission shall be done after the prescribed Form EC 8A has been signed and stamped by the presiding officer, and where available, countersigned by the candidates or polling unit agents," end quote. Now, let me tell you my final word on this. The senators know how to walk away from this. Let them do it. Because, frankly speaking, fire is dangerous. Transparency is better.
Let us all shine our eye. This is the time for us to defend our country. We have been keeping quiet before, but now is the time. Just as obviously said, the INEC and the National Assembly, they are playing with fire. Are they really playing with fire, or have the fire already begun to burn them? That is a very big question. Let me hear your voice at the comment section. Thank you for watching, and if this is your first time of coming to our channel, please do us a favor, click that icon, that red, subscribe for us, follow us for more tips on Nigeria Today in politics. God bless you for watching, and see you in our next video.